Going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like WNBA reporters is demanding Caitlin Clark be more vocal about CBA negotiations, speak out, and help the players get a deal done. Guys, for this one here, we got to go to New York. Let's get it. Let's go. We got to jump right into the story, man. So we know Caitlin Clark has spoken out about the CBA negotiations during her time in Durham back in December. Now, we really haven't heard from Caitlin. I mean, personally, I feel like we don't have to hear from Caitlin. Caitlin has done enough. You know, now y'all trying to push a narrative that Caitlin need to speak up more and try to help this deal. Help what? She helped enough. Like, let's not forget charter flights. Let's not forget hotel rooms, like TV deals, like fans. What more do y'all want from her? She's not the mascot of the damn WNBA. Y'all been so quick to break her down, so quick to try to ignite her little flame that she got. But now y'all are demanding Caitlin Clark be more vocal in regards to these set negotiations. Y'all, I'm about to play a clip. So Annie Costabile is on a media tour, kind of explaining everything, which is great for her. She's building her brand. She's getting her name out there. And she's definitely been the one that's in charge when it comes to releasing the information. Hell, even ESPN got to go through Annie Costabile to get the news, bro. So she pretty much got a stonewall on it. Everybody rocking out with her. Well, she's on a media tour, and she did an interview with Yahoo Sports today that has garnered a lot of attention, and they spoke about Caitlin Clark, spoke about a lot of stuff. I want to play it. Let's listen.
For players in this shortened window, in addition to players that would potentially be in markets like New York, Chicago, San Francisco. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but seeking a lease in a market where you are only available to sign potentially a 6-month lease in New York, like that's not an easy scenario. And so I think that's why there's such an emphasis on ensuring that housing is provided at least for a period of time. Now whether this gets phased out for certain players down the road, I think that's something that we could potentially see happen. But in 2026, I think it's really important for the union that team provided housing remains on the table. And then I think another sticking point that will be interesting as this deal gets finalized. We know retirement benefits are important. But another really interesting point in all of this is the roster construction aspect. What we know right now is that in the league's proposal, 20% of the salary cap will go to the Supermax contract. Roughly 17% will go to the standard max. About 9% is going to go to rookies like Caitlin Clark, who just popped on screen. So that is the middle tier is really getting squeezed here. And I think there's a lot of questions about how roster construction is going to work under this proposal. And what I also know is that similar to the league's proposal, which again has that 20% and 17% going to the max, the super max and the standard max, the union wants to see a super max at $1 million as well. And the emphasis on that being a priority brings into question how the rest of the rosters is going to shake out.
Annie, we just had Caitlin on the screen. I want to be fair, but also real for a second, right? Like there is one player in the W that tomorrow could call up Saturday Night Live and host it. There's one player in the W that has that level of platform that everybody pays attention to. Knowing that, while I'm not saying it's her job to come in and fix a league and fix a problem here, we haven't heard a lot from her. She hasn't really used her platform or her voice in a strong way in this process.
Now, this is when the narrative is being painted right before our eyes. Listen to the next part of this segment because they're going to go deep and dive into something that I feel shouldn't even cross people's minds. Caitlin Clark does not have to be vocal for a league that doesn't care about her well-being, doesn't care about her name, image, and likeness. They have done nothing but try to hurt this young lady, ridicule this young lady, and disrespect this young lady time after time again. She owes them nothing.
Much obligation should Caitlin feel at this point from her peers and from her league to stand up and try and help move this thing forward?
You know, I certainly don't want to speak for Caitlin by any means, but what I've gathered, having covered Caitlin for years now, even going back to Iowa, covering some of her tournament games at Iowa, I think she's always been a very calculated person. And in the current stage of her schedule, she's not playing anywhere right now. So her media obligations are very limited. So when you look at these other players who are being more vocal, it's not necessarily because they're going out of their way to speak to the media. They are obligated to in different settings,
Exactly.
whether it be Unrivaled, Athletes Unlimited. Now, Neko Gumake, the president of the WNBPA, has certainly made herself available. Different members of the executive committee have certainly made themselves available. But when it comes to other players who are not necessarily in union leadership, that access has been limited. And so I get what you're saying in the sense of like Caitlin is the face of the league. She has power. When she speaks, people listen. That's very valid. But she's also a very calculated person when she does speak. And I think the people leading these negotiations are not necessarily asking that of her. And so if you're Caitlin, you know, is it your job to supersede player leadership? I don't think that is a tactic that seems like one Caitlin would ever take on. Now, she will be at USA Basketball this weekend. A lot of us will be there. So that will certainly be a moment that we're going to hear from her regarding CBA negotiations. We heard from her during USA Camp in North Carolina. But as far as you know, her putting herself in a position that isn't required to speak up, I just don't know. Yeah, that seems like something Caitlin has ever really taken on.
I think also important to remember, Caitlin's been in the league for 2 years. So there's a lot of inner workings and minutia about the league that she might just not be familiar with because she hasn't been in the league very long. But Annie,
you also got to think about like, if we're in a negotiation, right? And you're the newcomer, you're like the young one who is still learning. Like, are you going to overstep or step in front of, you know, the stalwart, the veteran who's like, you know, been at this for years?
Imagine being able to build an app with your...
No, Caitlin isn't. So, make a long story short, I feel like Caitlin Clark ain't obligated to speak up. She ain't got to do a damn thing. Guys, get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this one. Make sure y'all keep them bells on. I will be back with more content. And until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, bro. Peace out.